Seconds out for a terrific new series of boxing videos. From champions of old to a current heavyweight king, these videos are full of action-packed boxing at its very best. Some of the meanest encounters from boxing history are in this cassette, aptly titled Grudge Fights. Just before World War II, the American Joe Louis fought the hero of Germany for the world heavyweight crown, but there was a lot more at stake than just the title. 10 years later, and Rocky Graziano and Tony Zhao really went to town when they fought for the world middleweight title. Rumour has it they didn't like each other, in or out of the ring. Nearer to home, and here's a punch I'll never forget. When he had recovered, Ali went on to win the world title, and he and his arch-rival Smoking Joe Frazier relived their historic fights, including the Thriller in Manila. These are just a few of the tough battles featured in Grudge Fights. In two separate programs, the awesome Mike Tyson compares the style of some of the greatest boxers from past and present. And as a result, both cassettes are fascinating insights into the youngest ever world heavyweight champion.
Now this is what you call boxing, what Mr. Fogg is doing. He's coming forward, he's jabbing, he's not going backwards, he's making a fight, because back in these days, if a gentleman were to run and stink the place out, he perhaps wouldn't get paid.
For a closer look at some of the best fighters of all time, 5 programs are devoted to individual boxers. Here's Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight to become world champion. This cassette follows his successful career in the ring and his controversial private life. Jack Dempsey, nicknamed the Manasseh Mauler, whose aggressive style revolutionised boxing and made him a hero of his day. A great video of a true champion. The Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, world champion from 1937 to 1949. This video takes you ringside for the longest reign ever at the top in heavyweight history. The legendary Rocky Marciano, a fighter who has inspired 1 or 2 Hollywood films. This video features the man himself and the real-life drama of a great undefeated champion. The man who shook the world, Muhammad Ali.
After Clay backs Liston to the ropes, he verbally challenges the champion, sets him up for the left-right combination that opens a cut under Liston's eye.
I must be the greatest. I told the world. I told the God everything.
And unless Leon Spinks has got some superhuman effort in him, the new champion, Muhammad Ali.
Powerful tribute to a fighter many will always regard as the greatest. And finally, watch out for boxing's greatest fights. Mike Tyson takes a look at a whole bunch of nerve-shattering knockouts and devastating power punches, and a few rarely seen KOs with a difference. There it is. I'm off to get this great range of boxing videos right now. On sale now from all good video outlets.
This is the legacy of Mike Tyson, possessed with one of the most devastating knockout punches in the history of the sport. This incredible specimen of boxing talent has, in a few short years, risen from the daily struggle for survival to the elite class of the world's greatest champions. He is a superstar of the 80s whose records are at the top of the charts. These are Mike Tyson's greatest hits.
Hello, I'm Mike Tyson. Those of you who followed my boxing career known I've accomplished a lot in a short period of time. It happened way back in 1980 when I first met Customato, the world-famous trainer and manager.
After training such great champions as Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres, Customato opened a small gym above a police station in upstate New York, leaving the world of big-time boxing behind. Until he met a 13-year-old delinquent from Brooklyn, brought to him from a nearby penal institution. Cus knew if he would dig deep enough with this troubled youth, he would uncover a jewel.
Back and forth like this. Okay. I'm not a creator. What I do is discover and uncover. See, my job is to take the spark and fan it. When it starts to become a little flame, I feed it. And I feed the fire until it becomes a roaring blaze. And then when it becomes a roaring blaze, I pour huge logs on. And then you really got a fire going.
He had taught many boys the sweet science, sharing his large home in Catskill with them. But one boy in particular stood out not only in the ring, but in Cus's heart.
When I was 14, Cus used to tell me about all this. We would talk about the old fighters or something, and then we go to another hour, we talk about girls. It was just like my big brother, of my father, talking about my father.
Within 2 years of their meeting, the old professor legally adopted his rising star. Their destiny had begun.
And Cus always strived. He said, you could be the champ, even at a young age. And I believed in him. I developed that kind of confidence in him. And we just made it, that was the destiny, no matter whatever happened. And he discussed times that he wasn't feeling well and he doesn't think he's going to be around. But he said, no matter what, the job must go on.
Guided by the teachings of the master, Mike Tyson set about changing his life, and in time, the entire boxing world.
But you aim it here and bring the same hand. When he hits here, his life will bring it down. Even if he's got his life, bring it down, bang, over here. Bang, with the left hook here. You get hit, bang, you get excited and your head comes up your hands. When you get hit, that's when you gotta be calm. You gotta be clever, you gotta be smart, and not get hit. And when you're able to do this, you're a fighter.
As a fighter, Tyson first entered the amateur ranks. His impact was immediately felt. After a successful amateur career, Mike Tyson now stepped into the ring as a professional. It was a new game for the 18-year-old. He would be up against stronger, more mature competition. But he had trained for this moment, and he had learned his lessons well. As he had been taught, he was putting on a great show. But as his reputation grew, so did his impatience for bigger stakes. The results were now all too familiar to the men who faced him. He fought like a seasoned veteran, stalking his opponents, choosing his punches well. He could mix it up, exchanging combinations, and then pick a target, punishing the body. And if they made the mistake of getting up for more, launch a cannon to the head. Compact, quick, and incredibly powerful, he fine-tuned his knockout punch. His confidence soared. With Customato's guidance, Mike had gained the respect of the public and his peers. In the ring, he had conquered his fear. But now there was an even greater challenge. And this time, he had to face it alone. On November 4th, 1985, just 3 days after Mike Tyson knocked out his 11th straight professional opponent. Cus D'Amato died of pneumonia. Though the master was gone, his voice still echoed in the gym he called home.
Your mind is not in your way. There's something distracting you. And remember, it's always good to throw the punch where you could hit him and he can't hit you. That's what the science of boxing is all about.
The master instilled in the student his experiences and thoughts to carry him through his journey. Words were his tools, words that are still very much alive today.
You know what I like about it's about the coward and the hero, that both of them feel the same.
It's what they do that makes it different. In other words, the hero feels just as frightened as the coward.
But it's just that the coward, he runs. Instead of the hero, he feels the same, and he has the discipline, and he just makes himself go through whatever has to be done.
That's what he does that makes him a hero, and what the other fellow doesn't do that makes him a coward.
It was D'Amato's philosophy to build will rather than skill. With Mike, he had succeeded. He had bred in Tyson the heart of a champion, a heart that had other feelings as well.
You know, it really is difficult because I did miss him a lot. But even besides, before, when Cus was around, I was always that way. I used to always keep things to myself. I always kept things to myself. But it's just that I let some things out. I spoke to him about some things that were on my mind. But when things get on my mind now, I don't talk to anyone about it. If Cus was around, he would tell me things. And he would explain this is what I would do. And so I would tell him, yes, but just don't worry about it, Cus, everything's going to be all right. And he knew not to worry about it. There's no way we could fail. We must succeed.
Determined not to fail the memory of his beloved tutor, Mike returned to the ring with a vengeance. Immediately setting a course on the road to the heavyweight title. A passion for victory exploded in enormous blows. The pace accelerated as he met each new challenge head-on, steamrolling through the middle ranks of the heavyweight division, throwing some of the best punches many had ever seen. And some not even seen at all. During the last 10 months of 1985, in his first year as a pro, Mike Tyson had knocked out all 15 of his opponents. And with the new year, the hits just kept on coming. Even when pushed into the middle rounds of a bout, he could unleash unbelievable combinations. Now reaching the critical point in his career, there was little need for worry. Mike Tyson had been properly prepared. His new co-managers had built the foundation along with Cus D'Amato by providing lessons on all the great old fighters from their extensive boxing library. At this stage, the late Jim Jacobs and partner Bill Caton developed Mike's progress.
Our chief responsibility has been, over the last year, to pick the opponents for Mike Tyson. Nothing is more important than the opponents you pick for a fighter.
The strategy was set to showcase Tyson at his best.
When someone sees a Mike Tyson fight, we want them to leave the arena saying, when can we go see him again?
We decided the time was at hand for the marketing of Mike with a technique that had never been used before, simply because video cassettes were never really available to a manager before. We prepared cassettes of all of Mike's fights and sent those cassettes with a covering letter to the top sports writers and top television personalities throughout the country.
For Mike Tyson, the value of the press has been priceless, as one of boxing's most respected writers can attest.
The press plays a very big part in the sense that if a promoter or manager knows how to use the press, you get the amount of ink, the timing of the ink, in such a way that getting a title shot pays. Anybody can get a title shot if you want to pay for it. The idea is to get the title shot so it pays you.
That meant generous contracts, both from network television and a long-term deal with HBO.
I don't believe there's ever been a fighter who has reached this prominence this quickly in the history of boxing.
Yet, as the center of all this attention, Mike, like the pigeons he raised, sometimes wished he could just fly away.
But can I tell you something? People wouldn't want to be in my shoes. They really think so because they say, wow, I can make money, I can get rich. But if they had to go through some of the things I had to go through, I think they would cry. Sometimes it's so depressing. You got to go through. Like, they always want something. They want to find a way to get your money. It's always people just as hard as you work in a gym. There's people working that hard to separate you from your money. I'm doing my job 100%, and I expect them to do their job 100%. The result's a foregone conclusion. There's no way we could fail.
The next step would be a network television debut in front of a partisan home crowd. Tyson was aggressive but wary, measuring his opponent through 5 rounds. There was some question about his stamina until he punctuated the answer with a swift uppercut. Ferguson barely held on until disqualified for staying too often in the clinch. Mike Tyson had staged an impressive first effort for a rapidly growing number of fans. Nationally recognized as a legitimate title contender, this gladiator proudly displayed his trademark: black trunks, no socks, no robe. Now he would meet boxing's best, fighters with broad experience who knew how to neutralize his attack. Tyson worked with his other skills, patiently waiting for his moment. But this was a tougher breed of boxer than he was used to, and despite the victories, it was hard for him to control his frustration. Now, when he entered the ring, his opponents already had the book on Mike Tyson.
You understand? Throw the 1-2 from the outside and tie him up. 1-2, tie him up. Don't fight him inside. Get him on the outside.
Green just trying to tie Tyson up, and a couple of good shots by Mitch Green. His best rally of the fight right here.
Look here.
He's caught Tyson 4 or 5 times, and Tyson for the first time seems a little bit puzzled.
Well, he's smiling. Tyson is smiling, but see, Green has those fast hands.
Tyson said one time, he said, I understand anatomy.
Here again.
Oh, what a left hand.
Tyson enjoyed silencing his critics with another win.
And going 10 rounds, I'm telling you, it's fun. I'm having a good time in there.
And the fun continued. But not for the men who chose to step into the ring with Mike Tyson. Theirs was a different fate, one that came all too swiftly. Once again, the look of a devastating knockout puncher returned.